Welcome back to Edgemont Elegance, everybody. It is week 50 of this magnificent project. We have cabinets going in. We have a period of dry weather this week in Vancouver in October. It's a miracle. So we're gonna get some exterior painting done, which is very unusual to happen really in Vancouver in October. Well, October 15th is usually the cutoff for most painters. There's just a ton of progress that's been made. Interior finishing. I'm just so excited to show you what's already going on because I've actually gone and walked around and I know what I'm talking about today. More often than not, when I'm jumping into these videos, I come out front, do my intro, do my thing, and then we walk around and we experience it together in firsthand. Today, I've seen everything up front. So let's stop talking about what's going on and jump in. Let's go. When we were here last week, they were getting ready to form it, or they were forming this or getting ready to form this. So this is the very ad hoc footing for the rock retaining wall that's going to go on here. So by setting a concrete footing in the ground, it just is going to make sure that the wall that sits on top of it in the future doesn't sag and do other silly things later on, right? So again, if you want to build a quality wall, you've got to have a quality foundation. It's not much different than a home, is it? The wall is going to extend from this end of the driveway all the way to the detached garage in the backyard. So we've got a little bit of a chicane? Yeah, I guess chicane going through here. Now we've got our painters getting their paint prep done. So they're taping off and polying off all of the masonry work, which is looking amazing. Back here, and it's a cold October morning, if I may add. You can almost see my breath. Back here, we have one of our carpenters working on adjusting these columns. Adjustments are happening. We're just trying to make sure that the finished product makes the client happy. And that's what you have to do. Now, did we talk about these caps last week, Kyle? Actually, believe it or not, I don't think I said like last week. These are custom made, eh? You know that? Yeah, so the masons, that's what masons do. They literally take rock and make it into whatever shape they want. So this might have been this wide or whatever else, and they just cut it and then they hammer off the sides to make it look consistent. Masonry is really cool. It's a really, really neat trade. I'm no good at it, but it's cool to watch them do it. Very, very cool. Kyle just pointed out something that he actually recorded because they didn't come when they were supposed to, and we were going to talk about it last week, but then through stroke of luck, Kyle had to come back here. And look at this, we've got screw piles. So screw pile, helical pile, it is an alternative to having to pour foundation walls or footings or anything like that, right? Much faster, well, not necessarily cheaper, definitely faster, sometimes cheaper. And so this is, there's going to be a couple posts here and then beams over there for the sauna room. Sauna, yep. Going over there, I'm roughly standing in where the hot tub will ultimately be. So yeah, pretty cool. And helical piles are a great solution. Highly recommend them. Coming in here, we have got cabinetry in the mudroom now, which is looking amazing. So a ton of really cool space in here. We've got hanging for any sort of Lululemon stuff or whatever. Stuff that can't go in the dryer, right? Washer dryer goes here, boom. This little spot here is for a ironing board that'll fold out of the wall, which is pretty cool. Then we've got a really nice bench here, which has got a wood top on it. Looks amazing, actually. And then we've got drawer storage underneath there for shoes, knickknacks, whatever the case may be. But this is all very, very, very nice and is, God, I just love these installers from Pacific Rim. And the cabinets too. Like if I had touch-a-vision so that you too could touch and feel how freaking smooth the paint is on these cabinets. It is unbelievable. And you know what? I have these cabinets in my house and I talk about them a lot. The finish lasts. It's crazy how well it lasts. Again, I got 2 teenagers and my cabinets still look fantastic. So very, very nice. And we have like a little kind of wet bar area here. That's all done. The doors, I'm sure, are somewhere. They're just not in. Coming through in here, kitchen is now done. So one of the things that got missed, unfortunately, was the bulkheads for the ducting up top. Project manager thought the cabinet person was taking care of it. Cabinet person thought the drywaller was taking care of it. So anyways, we are gonna get something invented and created so that the bulk or the ducting gets hidden. You know, a client was here this morning and was asking, well, you know, what normally happens in this case? What normally happens is your cabinets go all the way to the ceiling, and you know, we've got 9-foot ceilings in here. The top 12 to 18 inches of your cabinets are basically useless because, I mean, I'm 6 foot. I can't reach that top. I can reach 8 feet. So that top foot or so is just more or less dead space, right? So that's what would normally happen. Here, we have some open floating shelves and that sort of thing. So we're gonna have to fix it. We'll figure it out. It's just problems. It's what you deal with in construction. All right, let's go upstairs and check out what has happened, because I'm actually pretty excited to show you guys what the team has been up to. So we are in the upstairs foyer, hallway, whatever you want to call it. One of the things that you get when you get Sprucehill is you get obsessive attention to detail. You are going to see here that the tops of these doors are all at exactly the same height. You're also going to see that in this area here, the space between this door casing and the wall is the same as the space between this door casing and the wall, as it frickin' should be, in my humble opinion. I did notice earlier that this switch is just slightly out of center in here. Asked the client, do they want us to make it perfect? He said, yeah, that'd be great. So we'll move that over and make that perfect for them. Now, what is important and what I think you really need to pay special attention to is the fact that these doors here behind me are in-swing doors. This is for the laundry closet up here. These are out-swing doors. Now, even with them being out-swing doors, we still have the tops of the casings being exactly the same. Now, why is that a big deal? Well, the jamb, right, or the top here, this is actually slightly higher on the in-swing side, or like the swing inside of the hinge side of the door. Hinge side of the door. Let's go with that. On the hinge side of the door, the jamb actually sits down because the door closes against something, right? It closes against the jamb. So, I mean, if you just look here, you can see that this casing on the hinge side of the door is sitting just slightly higher. It's about 3/4 of an inch, sitting slightly higher than this door is here. So, or this side of the door is here rather. So we actually had to, I think we had to cut this door down and these doors down a little bit just so that we could get everything to line up. But you know, it's those little bits of attention to detail that make the difference between a house that feels really elegant and well put together and something that's just slapped together that nobody really cares about. I care, my team cares. That's what you get when you hire Sprucehill. Quality and attention to detail. Coming in here, we've got our cut station. Not too exciting. It is Monday morning, so as it should be, the site is generally pretty clean because, well, it's Monday morning. And Friday, house needs to get cleaned up, so we start the week on a good foot. And that's what we've got going on here. We've got our window trim and our door casing done in here. So, you know, all that's left to do in this room is the baseboard. But it's looking fantastic. I'm really happy with it. Guys are doing a great job. And then on the inside here, I mean, does it get any more sunnier than that? I think not. Looks awesome. So let's talk transitions and how you can deal with a vinyl floor and get everything to work the way that it can. So you have some limitations in terms of what can or can't happen. Vinyl floor, because it's vinyl, plastic, expands in both directions, right? Hardwood floor is generally going to only expand on the width, not the length. That's just not how wood tends to expand. It tends to expand on the width, not the length. Vinyl, it's going to extend in every direction. So down here in this room, this flooring is going to be going this way. And then we've got to, in Eric land anyways, get this flush. So the solution that we've come up with is we are going to get some thin set and we're going to finish filling this in here. We're going to take a piece of this material, we're going to turn it 90 degrees here, right? And glue this piece down here. And then we'll leave an 1/8 of an inch gap between this transition piece. If this was cut shorter, right? This piece will be sitting on a slight angle down towards the main room here. And so what will happen is, again, this is glued down. We'll leave 1/8 of an inch between this piece and the flooring down there. And then we will fill that 1/8 inch gap with color match caulking. You'll still see the gap, but now we have a nice smooth transition, because God damn do I hate stepping through doorways and having my foot hurt because there's like some metal spiny transition or some other ridiculous thing there. This is a great solution if you're thinking about trying to have flush transitions in your home for your vinyl, or honestly any other type of flooring. What happened here, and I don't recall why, because I'm sure I said something, but there was a reason at the time and I just don't remember what it was. When I do our basement footings, I always try to leave the doorways down 4 inches. This is a footing here, right? Slab, slab. I historically try to leave this down 4 inches so that we can have just one monolithic slab going the whole way through. And the reason being is, at this point in time, this room is almost 1/2 inch lower than the main room there. So it is really, really important when you have flooring that's continuing from one room to another to have a consistent floor level, despite all best efforts and whatever else. And of course, like, happens. There's really no other way to put it. So it is really, really important to make sure that we have continuous concrete going through all of our doorways. It's not always possible, I'll be the first to admit that, but when it is, that's really what I suggest you do if you're doing this work at home. It's a solvable problem. When we're done and when everything's finished, you'll never know that there was ever any sort of discrepancy in height in here, but we can make life easier in the future, and so can you. That's a wrap on today's walkthrough, everybody. Listen, if you have a home you've been dreaming about building, we would love to be your partners in success. I mean, if it's a renovation, we're not picky. We love to work and we love to help people. If you're somebody that wants help, we're here for you. Find us on our phone, find us on the web. Take your pick. We're here to serve. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't already, liked this video and subscribed to the channel, I sure would appreciate it if you did. Stay awesome, everybody. Bye now.